Wait, you're a Bears fan and you're not subscribed to my channel? Before this video starts, make sure to 1. Hit the subscribe button below to catch all Bears content right here on this podcast. 2. Hit the bell notification because you, my friend, are a diehard Bears fan. And 3. Like this video and tell all the Bears fans you know about the channel. Alright, that's better. Now that you're actually subscribed to the channel, make sure to bear down and enjoy this video.
Now this is a podcast all about Bears. You either cheering for this team or just pulling your hair. I like to take a minute, just sit right back and tell you how I became the #1 Bears fan.
That boy is Benny Hunter.
Cake on the mic, cake on the mic, cake on the mic, cake on the mic. People, this the intro. Sacramento, California, born and raised. In Antelope is where I spend most of my days. Talk bad about my team, you must be a clown. This is Keek on the mic, so you know you better bear down. Bear down.
Hey, what's going on, Bears fans? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Keek on the Mic, the podcast all about the Chicago Bears. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you follow me on all my social media channels, and make sure you share this episode of Keek on the Mic with every single Bears fan that you know. So, as you guys already know, yesterday was the trade deadline, and there was so much going into this. Every single year, the NFL hypes this trade deadline up, and once again, the trade deadline passes, and the only big news out of this year's trade deadline was that Von Miller got traded from the Broncos to the Los Angeles Rams. But in terms of the Chicago Bears, once again, the Chicago Bears sit on their ass and do absolutely nothing. And I was reading through the comments yesterday. There were a lot of Bears fans that were pissed off, and rightfully so. The Bears only have 5 picks in next year's draft, so you thought they were going to be huge sellers. But once again, Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy thought it was best to not trade anybody. Not Allen Robinson, not Akeem Hicks, obviously not Jimmy Graham because he has a no-trade clause, so we can't trade him even if we wanted to. And I just have a question for you guys. How many of you guys yesterday were on Twitter or were on Bleacher Report all day waiting for that buzz saying, Bears trade Allen Robinson or Bears trade Akeem Hicks? I was doing the same thing. I wasted all my time yesterday waiting for that buzz, and the Bears did absolutely nothing. And for the most part, I was pissed because just like I mentioned, the Bears have no draft picks. We only have 5 picks in next year's draft, so I was like, all right, let's be sellers. Let's trade the ship, right? But then I started thinking. I was like, you know what? Maybe it wasn't Ryan Pace. Maybe it goes beyond Ryan Pace. Maybe the McCaskies told Ryan Pace, you know what, dude? You have done enough. You are not trading anything. You're going to keep every single player on this football team because you are in win now mode. But there's so many layers to that, guys, because it's like the Chicago Bears are 3-5, about to play a pretty good Steelers team on Monday Night Football. And it's like, what are we playing for? Yes, there are 9 games left in the season. I get that. The Bears can easily turn it around because think about it. In Matt Nagy's last 2 years, he always goes on this little losing streak, right? We lose 4 in a row, and then we win 7 straight and get into the wild card spot, right? And it wouldn't surprise me if this happens this year as well, especially when we have a weaker schedule to end the season. But then on the other hand, I'm like, why weren't you guys sellers? You need the draft capital. Akeem Hicks, Allen Robinson are probably going to walk anyways. So why not try to get something out of them while you can? But then I thought, maybe it was the McCaskies that said, Ryan Pace, you've done enough. And then it got me thinking that maybe the McCaskies will let Matt Nagy walk at the end of the year. We all know that the McCaskies never fire anyone mid-season. There's also been rumors saying that Ryan Pace will get demoted. That Ted Phillips may step down, so Ryan Pace may get Ted Phillips' spot, meaning that Ryan Pace will be the president, and that means we will get a new GM and a new head coach. There's a lot of rumors going around in Chicago right now. So maybe the McCaskies did sit Ryan Pace down and say, you know what? We're going to let the new GM decide what to do with all these players. And in that case, I guess that's a good plan. Ryan Pace has made some good moves, but he's also made some bad moves. And I know you guys are upset. I was too yesterday. The Bears should have been sellers. We're 3-5. Get all the draft capital you can, you know? Especially with only 5 picks. You would think they would be sellers. But just think about what I'm saying. Maybe it wasn't Ryan Pace's option, right? Maybe he had no choice but to sit back. The McCaskies definitely probably sat him down and said, you know, Ryan, let the new GM come in and figure out what to do with these players. And at the same time, even though Ryan Pace has done some good things to this football team, he can also be costly. At least he didn't give up any picks to bring in new players, right? Because we're not in that moment right now. We can't afford to give up any more draft picks. So as mad as I was last night, it actually makes sense that we just stay put. Because at the end of the day, that could actually be good news. That means Matt Nagy may be gone. He may no longer be the head coach at the end of this year. Like I mentioned, there's rumors going around saying that Ted Phillips may retire at the end of the year, meaning that Ryan Pace will get demoted to president, or I guess that's an upgrade in that case, in this sense. But at the end of the day, the Bears should have been sellers. But just think, Ryan Pace probably had no control of the situation. The McCaskies did. Let me know down below in the comment section how you guys are feeling, because obviously I know you guys are probably upset. Obviously the Chicago Bears should have been sellers, but once again, they let the trade deadline go by, and we did not make any moves. So let me know how you're feeling down below in the comment section. And like always, I love to hear from you guys. Let's discuss about it. I want to know how you guys are feeling. But before I let you guys go, like always, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms. And make sure you share this episode of Keek on the Mic with every single Bears fan that you know. But other than that, I'll be back for an all-new Bears podcast right here on Keek on the Mic. Like always, thanks guys, and bear down.
You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Keek on the mic. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Keek on the mic. You can go and subscribe, cause I be on it right. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't